Hello, Cyclocross friends, and thanks for tuning in to episode 353 of Cyclocross Radio. On this episode, we're catching up. Bodie's here, and we're just took a little bit of break, recharging our batteries, now getting back into it, and we're going to talk about some of the races in the past couple weeks, including Really Rad and Kings. We're going to take a little bit of a look at what's going on in Europe, and then also we have some Instagram questions that we're going to answer as well. Before we get into all of that, once again, this episode is brought to you by Hammerhead and the Karoo cycling computer. I just got the new Karoo, and it's pretty sweet. I've been having a fun time just customizing it and just dialing everything in and a couple rides on it, and it remains my favorite cycling computer. I'm gonna have to report back next week on everything that I've learned, because this is brand new experience with this one. But for now, what I can tell you, and especially now since we're getting into that buying season, this is the time when you got to get those new toys, especially to start that training once your cyclocross season is ended, and you have all those things to work on. You got to start working on your base for next season. This is when you break out that computer. And how you can get it is going to hammerhead.io. And it once you do that, you put the Karoo cycling computer into your basket. And here's the cool part. If you put a heart rate monitor into your basket as well, that heart rate monitor, we'll cover the charge for that. We'll take care of that over here. Bodie and I will take care of that at CX Radio. So what you do is you put the code in when you check out CX Radio, CXRADIO, and then you will get that heart rate monitor for free. I think that's $70. I mean, they bumped it up to $80, so $80 value, get that heart rate monitor. If you were listening to last episode, Michael was telling you how that's the best heart rate monitor he's owned. Yeah. So great value right there. Again, that is hammerhead.io. Put the Karoo in the basket, put the heart rate monitor in the basket, use the code CXRADIO, you get that heart rate monitor on us. Also, go check out everything going on at Wide Angle Podium Podcast Network, wideanglepodium.com. It's still going. We still got shows being updated. The Slow Ride podcast just rolling on. Most popular podcast on the network. Those guys are when is the American Fly? Oh no, American Flyers is July 4th. They do anything for like Thanksgiving or Christmas? What's going on? I haven't really been keeping up.
I don't know. They should though. There's got to be some sort of turkey themed episode, or tofurkey for Spencer.
Yeah,
be Matt too. But yeah, I don't remember. Number one, Bill, we got to work on that, guys. Listeners, help us out here. Bump us up in the rankings, at least during cross season.
Exactly. So, I mean, even Rob is like, pushing out like Substack updates and doing cool stuff on Criterium Nation. So definitely worth following that. It's sort of the end of the season. He's doing a whole post-mortem season stuff over on Criterium Nation. So follow that. I know, they may not be as regular, but Nowhere Fast isn't dead. The whole online bike racing phenomenon. They're still putting out episodes, and then Amanda is still. We just put up a Grodio episode about a week ago. Another Kiwi, the Kiwi invasion for gravel in the U.S. Bodie, it's happened, and they
tasty.
Yeah, they're doing it. Who knew that New Zealand was going to be the gravel powerhouse? But that's what we got.
I think Peter Jackson knew that.
Do you think that would have made the trilogy? He could have if they had gravel bikes, instead of having like 3-hour long movies, it could have gotten down to like 2 hours. The travel time would have been reduced.
Yes, if the Hobbits had gravel bikes, it probably do you think a lot faster to Mordor.
I was gonna say, what do you think the Strava segments in Mordor are called?
I don't know. It's funny that we're talking about the Hobbits, because I'm deep in the Wheel of Time series, and there's a lot of similarities. So I'm into the fantasy genre right now, but I don't know. But back to it. Rodeo putting out shows, Wide Angle Podium.
Yeah.
We should be your favorite. Just listen to us multiple times, I guess. Let's get it up.
Yeah, and if you like that, you can go over there. You can support, become a member, support the shows. You get the choice once become a member, and want to make a donation. You can pick which shows that you want to support. And on that list, Bodie, one of the things that is on that list that you can support through the Wide Angle Podium is Cyclocross Television. So it's been there for years, and we got people who help us out through there, and that goes a long way. Before we got on this call, we were talking about even more gear that we have to get just to cover Pan Am. So it never stops. We keep trying to improve the product that we got going over on CXTV, and so that's it. Bodie,
Bill,
how's it going? We're back.
Yeah,
in the media
pit.
pit.
We are. I like that we're always back.
We are always back.
We never left, but we're always back.
We did take a little hiatus.
We did. Much needed hiatus. Recharging the batteries. I mean, you were still traveling. I was here.
I was traveling, but it was I would not trade what we did for USCX covering it for anything. I thought it was a great experience. We talked about it last time. It was a cool adventure. But being able to just go to races, be a photographer again, and just kind of like hang out a little bit and talk to people and just sort of engage with the sport was really nice. So it was cool going to Kings and just being able to just sort of take a step back and take a deep breath and enjoy it. And the same thing at Real Rad. So it was fun to get to these UCI races and know that it wasn't just all go head down, get the job done.
Yeah. I mean, variety is the spice of life. And so it is, I mean, I've had weekends, covering cross or shoot video one day, photos the next day. And it's always just kind of fun to mix it up and challenge yourself a little bit. If you're watching the YouTube, you probably notice a different background here. And, so I wasn't at the cross races, but I've had a new stressor to my life, and that is a home renovation. The eagle-eyed viewers might be able to see that behind my blinds is house wrap. So yeah, we're getting our house redone, and that has been fun.
Your house went from a brick house to a wood siding house to what now?
To no siding, some Tyvek sheets, a bunch of race numbers. I brought out all my old race numbers. I was like, hey guys, you ran out of Tyvek? Here, safety pin these together, and that would be actually pretty funny if I did that.
That would be. It's kind of like how they used to have you have these like house renovations where people find these like vintage like movie posters and that kind of stuff where they were using that for insulation.
That's a really good idea. I should do that. Just a little time capsule.
Yeah.
Like you write my results in the back of the number, like fifth in the age graded, Louisiana Masters race, seventh. People are like, oh God, the guy who had seventh in Louisiana Criterium Championships, he lived here. Wow, exciting stuff.
Exactly.
But yeah. Pan Am's coming up. One more weekend.
Yep. Pan Am's is coming up. We I don't know how we want to structure this, but definitely talking about going and relaxing at these races. We also about the same time found out that we were able to use the venue that we have always had DCCX at, the Armed Forces Retirement Home in Washington, D.C. Didn't really want to publicize it because, we just were going to try to make it work no matter what until we had a solution. But once the shutdown happened, all of the people that we work with at that facility were furloughed, and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to use the grounds because it's federal property and the government is shut down. And we were able to finally break through and communicate with people who are still there. And really, I think and I had a Substack post about this, so I don't want to just completely reiterate her, but basically, since the race has been going on for so long, and since the race is kind of runs itself and does not ask the home, the property, for any additional resources, they don't have any There's no workforce that needs to be down there. There's nothing. We have our own gate and a key to it that we get from them. So everything's kind of like self-contained, and we've haven't caused them problems. So it was, something that they were willing to work with us for, that's like a huge, just that goes to show you the just what good leadership that race has had. DCMTB, which is a long time cycling club in Washington D.C. that started DCCX and continues to run it. We partner with them, and just being good stewards of that race for so long paid off this year, and that they were like, oh yeah, you all are fine. So we're back in our usual one. When we didn't know, we basically were permitting 2 other sites at the same time, which was not fun. Elliot Caldwell was going through it, going through a double bureaucracy, basically a full-time plus overtime job to kind of nail down other sites, in very short notice. And it was a huge relief.
Yeah.
once we knew we were set. So now we're back to planning. We'll be in there tomorrow, getting things rolling again.
I mean, that's a testament to, like you said, being a good steward, being a good custodian. If you're putting on a race, folks, like, leave it better than when you came. Sometimes, obviously you can't do that with the rain and the mud, but you can do things to sort of offset those, and it pays off in the end. I think most cross racers look at this stuff this way, but like, yeah, you gotta grease the elbows, shake the hands, just be nice, be a good customer, be a good helper, and yeah. Here's
what I will say to make sure that continues, especially this year when the government is still shut down, and hopefully it won't be by the time that we have this race. But even if it is, the one big thing, and I talked about that, we have our own key to our own gate. The one thing that makes this work is that you follow, dear racer and spectator, this one rule: do not go to the main gate of the Armed Forces Retirement Home. Under no circumstances, do not enter through that gate. That is a 100% ID check gate, and you are basically taking up the time of somebody whose time you should not be taking up. That is not the gate to go to. If you go to the tech guide, if you go to the website, if you just Google DCCX, I've put it in there. It's now a business spot. That is the gate, that Randolph gate. That's where you go to. That's our gate, and we'll be down there manning that. Don't go to the main one, or that's where we get in trouble. So pass that on. That's my one. I want all the racing to happen, but more, I want everybody to get in there through the right entrance.
So DCCX coming up a few weeks, but while we were gone, we had some racing here in the States. After Trek, we had King CX, Mason, Ohio. Did I get that correct?
Yes, you did.
No longer in Cincinnati or Louisville or wherever.
What was this? Cincy 3.
Cincy 3, right?
Locations to choose from. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bill, you were there.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were there until I saw your photos getting posted on Monday. So you were
stealthy.
Yeah.
I was there stealthy. Just going, shooting some photos for CXD and some other folks, and just visiting I love that race. I think they do a great job. Katie and her team do a great job putting that on. It was good to see the Hermans out there announcing, the one race they still announce. So
I thought I recognized a voice in some of the footage. Yeah.
And the one thing that I feel like, I'm probably misremembering some years, but it seems like more years than not, the coolest thing about Kings is that
the weather.
Yeah. And it will always be one day wet and one day dry.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking about, one race we talked about a couple of years ago, and about Sidney McGill winning when day one, and then the conditions changed and someone else won. And then, shout out to Lauren Zoner and the Lanky Cyclist who posted some videos for us. And so I got to watch some racing, and it was dry on Saturday, and Sunday was a complete different conditions, muddy, rainy, sloppy. So cool. I mean, that's how about that as advertising for your race? You're
Yeah.
like, do you want to have varied conditions on the same course? We got it. Guarantee. Rain one
It
day,
is. It's
dry the
crazy. It
next.
is almost guaranteed. It is funny too because I think even the I forget who it was. Somebody with the race was like, "Yep, King CX, just like from the bulletin survey. Favorite race, Kings when it rains."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we got.
Just like we ordered.
I will say that the I think both days are fun. I think it is it's a fast course when it's dry. It's just a racetrack, and it's probably I'd assume it's fun to ride just because it's one of those former golf courses. So you have all of
Yeah.
these rises and these kind of the built-in mounds that they put in there is to guard greens that are still there. They
Yeah.
call
I'm sure
the
there's
one of
probably
them
tee
the
boxes and
mutated camel, and then the big one in the middle. uh the one thing that was kind of interesting that this year, so that main feature, that main camel usually is an up and then a down and then up and around, and they kind of just straightened it out. So it was more just an up and across and a down, um, which made it a little, I think, easier, which also made the course faster through that. But I don't I don't think that really affected anything. I mean, it affected the women's race on day one because it got a little tight in there with the top three coming through there, and then Mia got squeezed and went down, and that kind of opened it up for Lizzie to take the win. But it's just kind of interesting that every year they sort of reconfigure that section. And this year was just it was easier, which is fine. Some years it can be hard, some years it can be easy. You've been out there, right?
no, never
No,
been.
never been there.
No.
So the cool thing about Kings is that on top of that camel, if you're on the hump, if you're just standing on the top of the hump, you can basically see the whole race.
I was thinking, when I watched the coverage that people shot, I was like, oh, this would have been a really good one to cover because you can get a lot of this course. Just from where one guy shot with one angle, he got like the whole, last minute of that lap. And I was like, all right.
Well. Yeah, because there is a road that's the start, which is, you start there and they go all the way up. Then it's kind of like flat and lower, and they do this whole section to pit one, and you can see them from the top of the camel, and then they go off and they go into the woods for like 2 seconds, and then they're back and you can see them again, and then they come right towards you, and then they go away and they go into the woods for maybe a minute, and then you see them again. They come out and they do the front half, and they're back to over the planks and back to the finish. It's like you can see 80% of the course standing in one spot, which means that you then have, even if it was less people this year than last year, it was still a great atmosphere on top of that feature, and it was still a crowd of people because people knew where to go and where to stand. And that's kind of like that's the cheat code of making a fun crowd at a cyclocross race. Is sort of like not physically force, but just by, I want to know where the action is, force people to go to one spot. And that's what they have. So that's what I love about that venue as well.
So you talked about it, but then I watched this footage. It came down at the last women's race, day one. There was 3 riders, Lizzie, Lauren, and Mia all together. Last part of the camel hump. Looks like Mia maybe kind of went in tight, and I think she hit Lizzie's back wheel. Crashed. Looked like a pretty hard crash, but she popped up right away. I know she raced the next day, so I guess she's okay. Lizzie and Lauren go to the line, and Lizzie has a bit of a gap and just has the juice left and takes the win. Anything else happen in that race that you saw being there?
Not that I can recall. Those 3 really were the fastest on the day, and it was fun just to have a group together. I think this is where Mia got injured last year, so it was a little scary seeing her go down there as well. And it just, I think Lizzie every lap until then was going outside, and this lap went inside, which kind of caught her maybe out a little bit. And who knows? Everybody's going to have their different interpretation of what happened there. But yeah, it's sort of a bummer that somebody crashed, but still good racing that whole time. First time we're seeing Lizzie this year, so starting off with a win, and then day two just putting on another one.
Yeah, so let's go day two. Women, same three, slight shuffle, but completely different conditions. So I imagine, was it still pack racing then, and with the mud, or was it just kind of at that point like a time trial? Or
I think it got a little more separated, if I recall, but still, it's still pretty close. There were definitely run sections. It was what I like about Kings in the mud is that there's nothing that is 100% unrideable. So it comes down to the decision making instead of like the mud isn't making the decision for you. It's not saying there's no way you can ride through this. You need to carry your bike and run. It's you have to make the decision what's faster.
Yeah.
Is riding faster or is running faster? And I think that's a thing that if you watch the amateurs versus the elites, in a lot of cases, the elites end up running more than the amateurs, because the amateurs, and I'm sure you and I were the same or still are, where you're like, I can ride this. I am going to stay on my bike, and I am going to ride this, and it is going to be some sort of like victory because I did not have to get off my bike. Where the faster people are like, this is dumb. I am much quicker if I come in here, keep my speed, dismount, run, get back on, and I'm way ahead of these idiots that are still trying to ride.
Yeah, the elites, they actually factor running into their training, as the amateurs are like, why would I run? I'm just going to ride everything. And then when you do run, you're like, oh my God, this is terrible, and your heart rate shoots up. So I saw that play out in the coverage of the men's race that I saw. So, and I thought that was pretty interesting because I saw a section where it was like, I think Jules is running and like Miles is riding. And so, and that gap was closing because I think Jules was going a lot faster. So
that is, and that's the thing. And I'm sure Jules knows it, but that's a weapon for him.
Yeah.
Like if he can get off his bike, that's something that he has an advantage over other riders. I mean, he does when he's on his bike too, that he's showing us, but I think he's also really fast off the bike. Tofik, same thing. He's once he gets off that bike, he can put in some time on people.
So men's race day one, I don't remember the coverage of that one. The women's was in my mind because of the crash. But
I may not remember as well. Tell me who finished this thing off.
So Jules, Tofik, and then Ryan Drummond. Jules had a pretty big gap. I'm sorry, hang on. That's day two. Let's go to day one. Day one, Jules, Tyler, Tom. I think I remember that now. More group racing, obviously dry race. Jules 1 second gap over Tyler. I think this is where I watched the footage that it was because the barriers are right before the finish. Everybody was riding the barrier except for Jules. And I think did he crash early in it, or was that day two? But he seemed to be back, and I was curious, and I think I asked Lauren, I was like, hey, so was he always running? And she's like, yeah, he's always run the barriers in that position. Everybody else was riding them, and it was faster for him.
Yeah, because I think that if you're going to ride it, you have to be smooth because there's a little right turn after the barrier. So you have to get on and you have to like sort of, ride, straighten your bike, make the turn. I think Jules was kind of running on that inside line. And if you're smooth, you're not losing much. I think if you have somebody who's super smooth riding those and can keep momentum, then it's a different story. The one factor that makes it easier for Jules to make that decision is that there's a U-turn right before the planks. So if it was the case where they just straighten that out and they put the planks before that U-turn, then it's a huge advantage to ride, because you can take
Right.
a lot of momentum in there, keep a lot of speed, and just accelerate out of it. Where here, you're already scrubbing a ton of speed before you go over the plank, so it really it it lessens any penalty you're getting from getting off your bike.
Yeah, so Jules takes the win on day one, and I mean that's great storyline to the season. We've sort of documented his sort of climb up the elite finishing order. Had some really good races at Track Cup. Just slowly has made his way up. Well, I mean not slowly, but he's put himself at the front of the races. Been one of the protagonists, and it's fun, but the coverage I got was from Lauren Zoner, his girlfriend. So you got the bias in the finish line tracking shot. Well done with the seagull screams as he won. But good for Jules. I mean, like you said, we love to see this. We had Brunner, Strohmeyer not there. And
well, that was the whole cool thing about this weekend, right?
Right.
No Brunner, no Strohmeyer, no Mags, no Bacher, so Sydney. So it really just opened it up for other people to shine, and that's what we saw. And Jules Van Kempen is kind of the next best guy out there. I think we would have said Tyler Clark as well. I don't know. I'm not going to coach from the sides, but it seems like Tyler's been doing a lot of racing. And
I was thinking the same thing. I had that thought. I was like, I feel like Tyler's getting a little bit tired. Maybe take some time off, because he's been at the front all season chasing Strohmeyer and Brunner. And you're seeing
what I saw from him, and again, completely anecdotal. Tyler, tell me if I'm just absolutely full of crap here. A lot more stretching. Which is always seems like, like the back and just the tired. And that seems like it's a tell for me.
Yeah, it seems like the Comp Edge boys are really coming into form this year. Exactly. I know Dylan had that wrist injury, and he's sort of been able to, I think that's getting better. Drummond seems to be a guy who is just kind of continuing to push to see how far he can go. And as we see, he's going farther and farther. Like especially you said, some of these guys not there, it allows them to sort of be at the front, dictate moves, and sort of like push the pace, not constantly being like trying to react. So
Tom Scott, the Brit up there as well, doing, when we see him, he's when he shows up, he's usually near the front.
So yeah, that's day one, men. And then day two, like we said, the rain came, and I think
early crash
by Jules.
Yeah.
Right. Because
I don't know if he was involved. There was a big crash. Like they came off the start, got onto the grass, and it had to be like 5 seconds onto the grass, and there was a big pile up. And I'm assuming he was part of that.
And when the coverage came on for my live stream, Miles Mattern was off the front, and I was like, all right, Miles, like first race back at the front. I was like, I love it. Like different conditions completely changed the game. I mean, what did you see from that race? What can you tell us?
Miles looked awesome. Miles looked awesome for 45 minutes. He's in school at Marion. He's racing for them, but not really, I think, not doing the same volume of racing outside of what he's doing with the school. So I think, coming in here still knows how to race cyclocross when he shows up. I think that he it was probably like nothing. I mean, Jules did an awesome race, I think, just for Miles. When he saw him and it came through with those last couple laps, it was, I think his feeding might not have been what he wanted. Just kind of bonked, I think, in those last couple laps. And, once it's, I don't know if it was psychological. That's the way it looked from the outside. It's like once Jules caught him, it was like, I'm done. It's just like all the momentum. But man, for those first 45 minutes or so, he just looked awesome. It was really, really fun to see, and he should be proud of that ride, because he was just
that's
awesome. Was just like crushed and looked so smooth. It was funny because he's a CXD rider, and just him not being in that kit, like on Saturday, the first lap or so, I was like, I kind of forgot. I was like, oh shoot, Miles is in this race. And there's like 18 Marion guys in the race. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to figure out who it was. And just having, seen him race for so long and to shot him, he looks great on a bike. His distinctive look, and he came through, and I was like, oh well, that's obviously him. So
Yeah.
it's once he went by once, I was able to track who he was. But just watching Jules on Sunday was so much fun because he was just, I mean, the kills in that race were just adding up so fast, and he just kept coming and coming and coming. And it was when we were at Trek and we're like, okay, well, he's sitting on this group and sitting on this group, and then he'd move up. I don't even think he stopped for the groups in this one. It was just got to the front, got to the next group, got to the front, got to the next group, and then just, start the Jaws theme. He was just coming.
Yeah, Diamond Julie coming from the back and reeling everybody in there. And I also saw, it seemed like Tofik, kind of similar thing. Second place Tofik, Ryan in third. I think Ryan was ahead of Tofik at some point, and it kind of seemed like, we know Tofik is an extremely powerful guy, still learning that technical stuff. And I can imagine.
I think that's it. I think there were times in the mud where he just does not have the experience as some of these other riders does, and just choosing lines. And I think it's also he does have all that power. A couple of times I saw him, he'd like come around these turns, just these benign turns, and he'd want to accelerate like it was dry. And he would just, like fishtail out. And I saw he actually like crashed once just doing that, just because he's in such a hurry to get back onto the race and get to the front. But man, he is such a good racer in that even if any of us had what we would perceive as frustrations and setbacks in races this year that he did, we would have been like, screw this, I'm not doing this, and been like at the back of the race. Where he just does not have that mentality. He just keeps moving forward, makes a mistake, gets up, doesn't even brush himself off, just gets up and goes and just gets back on there. And it's just, to be able to do that and to be able to have these races where he's still figuring out how to do this. I mean, there's a kid that's 1 year out of juniors, and to get second in that race was just phenomenal. Just so cool to see.
Fantastic result. And you were kind of reminding me at Trek Cup day 2, we had just a bad day of crashes. And then like at the very end of the race, like I was like, oh, Tofik. I was like, I on the sideline, I was like, dude, they're right there. And he was like, okay. Like, it wasn't like, it was like oh, awesome. Like, I'll get him. And like, he had just caught that group at the finish line. So yeah, Energizer Bunny keeps going. Good for Tofik. Good for Ryan getting third on the third step. Miles hanging on to fourth.
I think that's the other definitely worth mentioning is Ryan Drummond and Dylan Zakrajcek are guys that I think at the beginning of the season we were like, they're just kind of they seem like they weren't able to just get there. They were always kind of like back of that group or dangling a little off. We kind of like alluded to Tyler Clark, where he's like started so strong, and it was Bruner, it was Strohmeyer, and it was Clark. So we know that he's got that ability to be up there. But then those guys were at the back of that second group, gapped off, where Tyler seems to, we think maybe need some rest. Those guys have just built almost perfectly to where they are coming into peak form now and are at the front of these races like every week, and it'll be, we'll talk about really rad coming up. They had Strohmeyer there, but it's going to, I think Pan Am's will be the interesting one. I think we won't see Drummond though, right? Because he'll be the U20 and U23.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see where Dylan is now that he's kind of come on.
Yeah. So next that was 2 weeks ago, and then we had double races this past weekend. Major Taylor, really rad. Bill, you were at really rad, so we jumped to that race next.
Yeah.
We had some some of our bigger names coming back. Yeah, in the women's race, we had Magali Rochette
And
back,
the return of,
Raphael Carrier,
yeah.
which was in the God, is that are they a world tour team? But I mean, she's in the Archaea. Wait, is she the Archaea?
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I just it's always fun when you see those kits at the cross
See those
races.
kits you see on TV, like coming to
Exactly.
your town.
Yeah. So yeah, tell us a little about day one. Really rad.
Day one. I mean, on the women's side, I think it was really cool to see Raf out there racing, and you never really know what the transition is going to be between. She was racing road, she was racing mountain bike, and now coming into cross. And when she was a junior, she was like the fastest one out there. It was kind of her and Lydia Kuzak and Alyssa Sarkisov last year were always battling in that junior category. All three of them have proven themselves to be really fast bike racers, no matter what discipline you put them in. So seeing Raf after that full mountain bike season coming in strong. I mean, just really looking super strong, and being able to stay with Mags. I mean, really giving her a run for her money, and it was super cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, all I have is like I was looking at the live timing I was coming, but it seemed like it was those two that were away. I mean, they finished a minute ahead. Lauren Zorner in third, and I guess it came down to a sprint.
Yeah, but the interesting thing, so I think that it was the last time through the sand, Mags was able to get out there, get in front. I think Raf was able to do that to her the lap before, and I think that even though that's early in the lap, that kind of dictates that was a nice little jump. The cool thing about that race is that if you look at those lap times, I'm pretty sure that Mags went like 15 or 20 seconds faster in the final lap. So
right.
they were kind of like cruising, and then she was like, all right, I need to go win this race. And Raf was like, cool, I'm gonna go with you.
Yeah, pulling up lap times. Yeah, Mag did a 6:37 on her last lap, which was 20 seconds faster in any lap. Raf 1 second off that because she finished 1 second behind Mag in the sprint. So
yeah, she was able to give her a preview of how to sprint at Really Rad
right
on day one for Raf. Like a practice. A mulligan sprint.
Well, yeah, that day two women. I'm tuning into the live results, and I don't see Mag's names, and I see she only did 2 laps. She posted her newsletter, and I think maybe on Instagram. She just, I think she just wasn't on it. Felt a little tired.
She crashed a couple times, and then was like, "This isn't." Yeah,
I think she sort of the couple of crashes sort of let her know that she had felt tired earlier coming into the weekend and decided to push and race on Saturday, but then on Sunday she's like, I probably shouldn't even started. And she even referenced Fem Empel, who maybe we'll talk about later, who raced an exact cross race and then won, and then for the big super prestige race decided not feeling it, not 100%, not going to do it. So kind of being like, hey, if you're an athlete and you got to take care of yourself, and it's like Magali is a veteran, she's been around. Like we saw J-Pow do it, right? Remember when he was doing the one race a weekend? Like sometimes that's what you got to, you don't have to race all of them, Well,
also for a lot of, you don't have to race all of them, and then there gets to a point where you have like these buckets of points,
right?
Where you can only amass many C2 points or so many C1 points. Well, once that C2 bucket is full, there's really no sense other than if you need the prize money and you're going to be up there to race those 2 days. So I think that's why a lot of people who are able to do it, not everybody is able to make that decision.
Right.
because they're still battling for everything they got. But yeah, day two, yeah, we actually ended up leaving before this race, but coming down, just I was following it in the car, the van, the same way you were, just looking at those at the timing splits, and yeah, Lauren just keeping up the rough. It looked like it was a good race.
Yeah, you know what? Lauren did tell me how her race went. Actually, hang on. I'm going to check the DMs because I
All right.
asked her and she gave me a race report. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Lauren Zoner race report from day 2 at Really Rad. Today was going strong with 3 of us. Maybe I was dangling a bit. Okay. For the first lap. And then to the second lap, Mags crashed by pit 1, and it was me and Raf until she attacked and stayed maybe 5 seconds up for 3 laps. She was connected with 2 to go and kind of waited it out, was content taking it to the sprint. She attacked a few times. I stayed with her. I tried to get her into the last corner, but had to concede, and she just had enough to stay ahead for the win. So that's how it all played out in the women's race day 2.
Yeah. It's really interesting. You would think that Really Rad is a place that you could come around on a sprint. It seems like it's a really long sprint, but it also, it seems like it's that U-turn still. If you come out and you're able to keep it, it's still hard.
Well, it's gravel, right? Is it gravel?
Yeah.
Or is it pavement?
It is. I think it's gravel.
So it's one of those things where, yeah, you want to be sort of like steady on your bike and like having traction to spin. But if you're trying to like come around or come a different line, maybe it's like harder to sort of get into that sprint.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still good race. Good race for her. That's it's a good barometer.
Yeah, indeed. Ben's day 2. So let's go to day 1 first.
Yeah.
So Stro time.
Yeah.
Back in the house. We had Noah Shelton, Marcus's brother.
Yep.
Anybody else in that? Pretty good list of starters here. I see a couple juniors who have aged up. Aiden Volmuth. I saw a few others, but yeah, I mean, that was a little more group racing day 1 men's race.
Yeah. So, the 2 guys we had talked about with Ryan and Dylan, and then Strohmeyer, and then who else was there? Who else is in like that? Tyler was in there. Yeah.
Noah, Alexander, don't know how to say his last name, Skopanich Burgle.
Yeah. Yeah. So those guys were chasing, and it really so it was Strohmeyer, and then the 2 comp edge guys, Ryan and Dylan, were kind of off the front together. And yeah, if you're subscribed to Stro Time, the Substack, Andrew Strohmeyer's Substack, he kind of walks it through, and it was kind of a interesting tactical race by Comp Edge, 2-on-1 versus CXD. They were content not to play the numbers game, Bodie. Almost looked like maybe they were racing against each other more than they were against Strohmeyer.
I mean, yes, but so if you're in that situation and Andrew is the guy who's won the races, he's got the stars and stripes on. He's stronger than you. Do you just sort of think he's going to win and you're just already racing for second? Or, is there a way in which those 2 guys could have rope-a-doped Andrew?
I think so. That's the thing. Because we talked about before. We were talking about, I think we had a big discussion about this at Trek with the women's race on day 2, where it just became a stalemate, and they were just rolling, staring at each other, and we were like, there is no incentive for anybody other than Sid, Manin, or Magali to make a move, because you're like, you look at that and you say, you're going so slow, this is my opportunity but that those racers are so strong that it's going to take something really special for it to stick. Wherein the other side of the coin is I'm with the leaders and they're
Right.
not going very fast. I'm in a great spot. I'm going to do this as long as I possibly can.
Yeah, there's that too.
Right. And
Yeah.
so you can say, okay, well, there's that mentality, but this is just 3. You know, Strohmeyer's strong. I mean, this is North American racing. People have different kits on, but everybody's kind of like in the same camp, more or less. So Andrew was racing on the road in a Comp Edge jersey with these guys before. It's not like there were any secrets. You know, Cody Scott was up there with them for a while as well. So there was, you know, they all know each other. And yeah, Strohmeyer is the strongest out there. They know that as well. But instead of, you know, Dylan falling off a couple bike lengths and Ryan deciding to push the pace there to distance Dylan, maybe let him come up more, and then once he's with Strohmeyer, he can get on his wheel, and then you go, and then let Strohmeyer pull you back to him, and then the other guy go. You know, that seems like pretty much bike racing tactics 101.
I mean, there's also, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So you could also attack Strohmeyer. Strohmeyer gets a flat, has to pit. The gap opens up, right? I mean, so you give yourself the opportunity. It's also, I mean, what we said, you know, sometimes you find yourself in a situation of bike race you've never been in before, and you have to fill things out, you know? And I would love to hear what Dylan and Ryan are like. No, they've got it all wrong, because maybe they had different ideas and maybe maybe different things were happening. So, but yeah, I mean, that's good for them.
I think that it was, you know, again, I don't know. I'm on the outside looking in, but I do think that this was a learning experience for them, in that maybe they were taking more of a cyclocross mentality that, well, this is cyclocross. Everybody's in it for themselves. You know, we always talk about like, oh, they're using team tactics. And you talk to like the sauces or whatever, and they're like, nobody's doing team tactics. There's no such thing. It's like, well, you know, there's some gray area there.
There definitely,
definitely. So
very gray.
Yeah, I think that it was an opportunity to get a result, and it was kind of like everyone for themselves. And Andrew was like kind of shruggy. If you guys are going to do this, then I'm just going to leave you. Goodbye.
So Strohmeyer wins 7-second gap. So it seems like it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a huge, he didn't stay away. I mean, like he wants to attack late. I guess, did he also do his fastest lap, or am I thinking of a different race? Let's check the lap report.
I'm not sure. I know that this is, I think for him, he was doing, again, some big training blocks, just looking at the weeks and month ahead, but still, you know, wanted to get some racing in, so may as well go up there. He raced tubeless for this weekend, so
that's his first time on tubeless,
I think, in an actual race. I believe.
Interesting.
So that was kind of fun for him. He said it was the Vittoria tubeless, and he raced the same like dry condition pressures. So I think it was like 21 psi.
Yeah, that's interesting. If I rode a tubeless at 21, it would come off in the first corner, but I'm like twice the weight of Strohmeyer.
I don't think, you know, you're not doing like a mud race going down to like 12.
Yeah. Strohmeyer's fastest lap was lap 9, so it looks like the lap before the last one he put in the move, and got that gap that probably maintained. But all three of these guys had a very fast lap on lap 9. So sounds like Dylan and Ryan were sort of up for the task that weekend. And how did it shake out? It shook out Strohmeyer, Ryan. He got third, so he moved up to second. And then Dylan in third. Tyler there in fourth.
Yeah. All right.
Day 2?
What's that? Day 2? You
weren't there.
I wasn't there. We abandoned Andrew. He was on his own.
We had our correspondent Lauren. She was there. I've already forgotten what happened. I'm pretty sure it was kind of similar where I think actually, so read it ran Andrew's Substack. I remember now. I think they were same guys kind of together racing. He attacked. They brought him back. He waited around. He attacked, got the gap. Strohmeyer, Drummond, Dillon, same order. Noah Shelton moving up into 4th place and Tyler in 5th.
Yeah, I think so. Noah also U23.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he signed up?
No one signed up yet. So
okay. Strohmeyer, I read your Substack. You told people to get signed up, and I looked. You weren't signed up.
We're doing a little better. Yeah, we're doing a little. Well, Strohmeyer gets a pass because we'll be paying for all the CXT folks at the same time.
Okay, so
that's right. We'll all be in there. Yeah. And I think that's the kind of the thing with the elites. I'm not worried about the elites as much, and I do know.
Grant, are you signing up for single speed Pan Ams?
Yeah, they have a
Cole
unofficial Pan Am's jersey for single speed.
So is the unofficial single speed Pan Am Championships, is it on
taking
Sunday?
Place on Sunday. That would be the one Pan Am race because it's not really a Pan Am race on Sunday.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing, I know that there are extra hurdles to race Pan Ams as an amateur. I am sorry. There is nothing we can do about it. I wish there was. I wish that we are going to try to meet with somebody that'll listen at USA Cycling and see if there's anything that we can do, because next year there's going to be even more burden. So you have to buy a UCI license to race Pan Ams as an amateur. So that's an extra $100 or something, and
to race the championships.
To race Pan Ams. And the bummer is it's not a 12-month thing. It goes by the year. So you will buy it in November and it will expire at the end of December. I am not doing a good selling point for having people race Pan Ams. Here's what I will say though. This is the last year that you are able to race Pan American championships with your bike, even if your bike is not approved by the UCI. Because that'll be the extra burden that next year you will need a UCI license and you will need a UCI stickered frame.
I'll be selling stickers at the gate.
Do you still have some FUCI stickers?
No, because I want them to pass. I don't want people coming after my money after the race when the commissary pulled them off.
If you have the means, I think it'll be a really cool experience to jump into that Pan Am field and race the Armed Forces Retirement Home. I think we got a really cool venue and track and yeah, you can race that and race DCCX the next day. But I think Pan Am's is a really cool experience, and having it on the East Coast and having it available is something that if you have the means to do it, to take advantage of. That's a tangent. Where are we?
Well, we had another race that last weekend. Yeah. I think it's
Major
definitely Major Taylor. Neither of us are there.
No.
We did have some coverage. I'm blanking who sent us a few videos. I think what I can tell, Lizzie, strongest rider in the field.
Yep.
Won 2 days in a row.
Yep. 4 in a row now.
Yeah. 4 in a row. She's on a streak.
Is she in your blue sky streaks?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Pulled it up right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lizzie Gonzalez. Yeah. Right up there with Lucia Gonzalez. She's above Andrew Strohmeyer.
Strohmeyer's 3, right?
Strohmeyer's got 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he made it. He made it back on.
He made it back on.
Isn't 3 the minimum?
3 is the new minimum this year.
Yeah.
The board got together.
Who's topping that list?
I mean, who's topping that list? You know who he is. Your daddy, Matthew Vanderpool. 11.
So it doesn't roll off. I mean, it
doesn't roll off as long as your last win. You can't have a win farther than a year apart. The 2 wins.
So he won last season. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Those, the rest, like if there's a gap over a year between your next previous, then the whole thing falls off. I think that's what I decided. We've got Zemanova. She's at 5. She really hasn't come to the Benelux region yet. So she's kind of taken those Slovakia, Slovenia, or I don't know exactly where she's racing.
Mediterranean leader. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Lizzie and Liz 4 in a row. Jules 2 in a row. I guess he did not race this past weekend. But
I wonder if he's going to NoHo. He's got to keep that streak.
Yeah, that's true. I'll have to check the list. Men's side, looking at the pre-reg, looking at Cincy's results.
In your wheelhouse, yeah.
I was like, this is the weekend for Tofik. This is the weekend to get the win. And I'm watching the live results, and it's Brody McDonald. And I was like,
is this crit season?
The crit racer? I almost texted Rob, are you freaking out right now? But I know Rob,
of course, doesn't even know this is happening.
Rob is riding on the Potomac, taking selfies in his New Jersey, just doing Rob things. Probably doesn't even. He won't even listen to the show. He won't even know that Brody McDonald.
Nope.
Brody McDonald won day 1, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot."
We should quiz him. Should I text him right now and ask him what Brody McDaniel's last win was?
Yeah, ask him what Brody, not McDaniel, McDonald. Yes. Text him. Live text Rob. Ask him what his last bike race he won. What's the last race he won?
What was the last race? What is it? Brody
McDonald
won. He's gonna be like, why are you texting me at 10:30 at night?
Oh, that's true. You guys are a little late over there.
Rob has notifications silenced. Right, let's see. We'll see how important I am to Rob.
Who does that? Who has that much self-care?
I know. I should have put it on I'm sorry, I didn't put it on our text chain. Oh well.
Oh, bummer.
All right. I think that if you know him, when he shows up at cyclocross races, he's strong. So not a huge surprise.
Yeah, obviously
I think they basically he got away, and they just know there was a lot of looking around.
Yeah. 11-second gap. And Brody McDonald, if you don't know, he raced for the Blazers last year. He won, I believe, Crybaby Hill at Tulsa Tough. One might argue is a monument race in the crit. Probably not in the crit world, but he's kind of had a breakout year this year. So Brody wins, Tofik second, Miles Mattern third.
Yep.
Second weekend, good for Miles. Calvin Conway fourth, Jack Bernhard in fifth. Day 2 though.
Yeah.
Day 2 is the big day.
He did it. Tofik won the race.
He did it. It really, and we're not being facetious. It's really cool that we talked to him at Charm, and he was like, "My goal is to win a UCI race," and 4 or 5 weeks later, he does it.
Here's the trivia question that I want somebody to disprove, because it may have happened before, but we were trying to figure out and couldn't find an instance where teammates won UCI races on the same day. Male, same gender, 2 different races in different location. So Strohmeyer and Tofik both won on the same day, same team.
Oh. I'm sure that's happened in Europe.
Would it have?
Yeah. Yeah, it probably happened this year. I'm sure.
Somebody's in Switzerland or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm thinking,
How about US?
That I don't know.
I don't know.
You have to go.
Still pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, you're right, Bill. Sorry, I didn't mean to take the moment.
I'm with you.
Give CXD their flowers as well. as Tofik and Andrew.
Yeah.
Good squad. I thought you were going to say, when's the last time you've had two continents represented? Three on the podium.
Well, not continents.
Africa?
Where? How so? Oh, Africa, U.S.
Europe?
and is Tom Scott on there?
Yeah.
Wait, who? Oh, okay, yeah.
In North America.
That is an international podium for sure.
Yeah. Intercontinental.
Yeah.
At Major Taylor, day 2, men's race. Look at that.
Yeah. All good. Very good. Yeah, no, it was good. I'm stoked for Tofik. That was a great result. Yeah, kind of fun racing for the weekend. You know, we got as we said, some different people on the podium. We had our split weekend. I think it worked out just fine. Both places had decent fields. It wasn't too diluted. So, yeah, and now we have Northampton on Halloween weekend coming up. So that will be happening, and then got the Pan Ams after that.
Yeah, then we're back in it.
We are back in it.
Back on the road.
We're recruiting. We're recruiting celebrity shooter to join the team.
Yeah, I mean, we're gravel video extraordinaire.
Yeah, Daniel Wong will be joining CXTV guest shooting.
He shot shooting for Scott, and what Cam Jones won the overall in a lifetime. That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Coming from a wild card position, had to earn his way into the Grand Prix, and then ended up winning the whole thing. That's if you're a videographer, if you're a documentarian, that's a pretty good story to have.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Congrats to Danny. Not the he's a Kiwi, not the Kiwi. Who cares? Kidding. Cam Jones. I don't know you, but that's cool. Yeah. So excited to have Danny on the thing. We're gonna try a little bit different workflow at Pan Am's. We have 6 races in one day.
Yep.
So I'm once again looking forward to being to a course I've never been to, but by the time he leads, I'll know it. I'll know what to do.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a doozy.
The thing about covering bike racing, Bill, the best thing about covering bike racing is the story writes itself. It
does, for sure. And I think there are going to be a lot of stories to be told in that weekend. There'll be a lot of stories next weekend too, at Adam's race. So excited
somebody
for that one.
Do some coverage, please. Oh, you know what? I guess maybe we'll have Dirt Wire there. Maybe we'll get some highlight. Yeah,
Tom should be there for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
Should we answer some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
You're coming in blind with these.
Great.
All right.
Vanderpool. Wout. Lucinda Brand. That's my answer.
The pre-guess. All right. What is your... God, this one's for you. This is from Seeker ADV. It's Magli Rochette's bike sponsor coming in here, aka Chris McGovern. She got multiple bikes now, multiple Seeker bikes out there. Red, blue, and I think a green. So it doesn't have to jump on that Specialized anymore.
That's right.
Yeah. A full stable. What is your opinion on the Ian Mackay band Embrace? So Embrace, I think, was between Minor Threat and Fugazi.
Wasn't it? I thought it was Rights at Spring. Did I got that wrong?
I don't think for Ian. So this was
Ian wasn't in Rights at Spring?
No. But he was in Embrace. But that was like the but it's similar. Like this was the beginning of the kind of the emo movement. That was
Does no one care about Minor Threat? Like, I'd rather listen to Minor Threat than the Fugazi. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, I don't think that's a controversial statement.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. This was like
I don't know
To
Embrace.
answer
Yeah.
this question, I knew Embrace. It wasn't something that I was definitely listening to. This was probably 1984, 85, somewhere around there. So, um, yeah, definitely something that like I had friends who were into that whole scene. It wasn't necessarily what my biggest influence was. It's a fine album. I don't know. It's nothing that I'm gonna go back to and listen to again. But I think it definitely was a interesting time between um, Minor Threat and Fugazi. What were you listening to in 1985?
Nothing. The classic rock radio, the Cars.
Yeah,
I mean, I was 4. I don't know.
I was listening to I was probably this was the early times into like the Cure and the Smiths and Echo and the Bunnymen, but then also listening to like I had friends in hardcore bands, so into all of that, into like early rap. I went to Grateful Dead concerts at that time. I like to my favorite character. It was LSC, that movie SLC Punk. There was one
Mm-hmm.
of them, I think it was one of the mods who like moved between the tribes.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt. I could like I had friends in all these different tribes.
I think
Which
that's a
was
good way to be.
Yeah. All right. Here, let's do the other music question. Ben Brovman. These kids are trying to like to try to call us out on this new music, newer music. What's your favorite? Okay, here's the first quiz because I did some research here, Bodie. Bladee. How do you pronounce it? Bladee.
Blatty.
Right. That's it's Blade.
That's not well Blade.
That's how that's pronounced. I listened to some of this. I will say that
It's
oh
not
man,
good.
no, it's some of it I liked.
I feel like I listened to it and I was like, nope, sorry, I'm going to be old guy.
Like TLDR. I think that was a song. I was like, that's all right. I think that like the darker, kind of grungier, dirtier stuff. I like some of the more like sing-songy um uh Chalamet and what's his name on SNL type stuff. No, don't want it. Yeah. So I don't know what my favorite Blade album is. What's yours, Ben? Okay. Lauren got her question in. How tall are the DCCX barriers going to be? Same as they've been every year, Lauren. They are American barriers.
So you're going to hop them, Lauren.
Yeah, you're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to work to hop them, but they're not. They're not any Euro shorties. Okay. Ryan Crabb. The European calendar is heating up. What's the vibe? Vibe check on the Euros.
Vibe check on the Euros. Vandernout, strongest guy right now. Just overall rider, I think he's the best. Pim Ronhar is back. We're seeing that man flap his wings. He seems to be healthy. He's attacking early in races. He's getting gaps. He's going after it. Joris also pretty strong. One on day one of weekend, and then third on the next weekend. Sort of maybe not be able to do the 2 days in a row. Ellie's not back, so we'll curious to see where he slots in. Nyes is coming up this weekend at Koppenberg. On the women's side, glad to have Femme Happy racing. She's not 100%. She didn't start her season peak form. That's fine. It's a long year. Femme not on peak form is still going to be at the front of the races. She got her 50th win in Exact Cross. She was super happy. Pulled out had the number in her jersey, the 50, her 50 on a I don't know what it was, like a card or whatever. She had the thing planned, pulled it out of her jersey for the race. Love to see it.
Nice. You don't
Decided
have to carry that around for a lot of races.
that's true. Yeah, one race. Didn't start the next day because she wasn't feeling 100%. I think that's great. Casasola got her first win in the classification races. Her and Brand going at it over Isa. I was like, Brand is super strong, but just technically a little bit on the limit. Casasola looked really good all race. Casasola is racing differently than we've seen her in the past, where she would get kind of like Tofik, a lot of fucking power, not quite dialed in the lines, not quite confident, not enough experience. Casasola looks like she's got the experience now. She did a really good race. Brand crashed herself out. Like I said, she was on the edge, gets the big wind. Celine is hurt, so I'll be curious to see when she comes back in. But I mean, the racing's been good. I've enjoyed watching 2 weekends of it now, and
Yeah, Brand also like all in on cross, but just needs to like not doing the same heavy schedule, right? That
right. She had a big year yesterday. She won a ton, never off the podium. But I think it's, Brand is not, she's an elder statesman for sure on the crossing. So yeah, take those rest days, Brand. Focus on the things you have, your targeted goals. And yeah, I don't know what else in terms of the Europe vibe, but
yeah, I think that on the men's side, it's interesting. Van Toornout is still strong. We were talking about before we started recording that it's like I don't know when he got old, but it's
he's 31.
It's weird. 31 years old. I still think he's like
he's not
21.
Old, Bill. He's a veteran.
He is a veteran. But yeah, I mean, so many years at this point, we were talking about the sauce domination in the early season, and then the big 2 or big 3 or whatever will come in. So I think it's fun that the vibe has changed for sure. So we're not following the same script that we always have. Plus, we have Vanderpool and Wout, who maybe are kind of interested in cyclocross again. So that'll be fun to see once they
that storyline that next chapter of the season will come, a few months down the line.
And now it seems like Pidcock's the one that's like, I don't care about that sport. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, he's not doing
mountain bike. Like the only reason he raced Andorra is because he lives there, and then he just wins the race, and then is like, smell you later, mountain biking. I'm done.
Well, isn't he doing some gravel stage race in South?
Yeah, did
South
he
Africa?
Win today? Like
did
won
he?
The stage? Yeah.
Okay, good. He looked like he was having a miserable time in some video I saw.
That, and he doesn't like. Well, and he announced that he does not like GC racing. So like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do except go race some cyclocross, race some mountain bikes? Come back home, Tom Pidcock.
That's true. I agree. I like mountain bike Tim Pidcock.
Yeah. All right. Pan Am's hype is high. Nats is not so much. Is it the price? How are riders feeling about Arkansas? I don't know.
I haven't even thought about that. I haven't
thought about Nats either. I can say price wise. I know I talked about the UCI license earlier, but as far as like registration prices, we tried really hard to keep those down and keep them reasonable, especially in comparison. So hopefully you'll notice that. And it's really easy to get to DC. We've got 3 airports and a major highway. Arkansas has that working against them. I think that you can lower the prices for Nats, which they did, which is awesome, and I applaud it. And I don't think it costs to get onto the venue, which it did in Louisville, which I applaud that as well. So they're really like lowering all those barriers. The hard thing is if you don't live close to Arkansas, you have to fly to Arkansas. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the biggest bummer of it. It's like, it's I think more people would want to go. And it sounds like they've kind of taken the feedback on that course. And I've said it, I know I've said it 100 times before. I love Fayetteville as a mountain bike venue. I think it sets up just perfectly for the US Pro Cup. And I love going out there and covering those races and watching the racing. It's super sweet. I don't think it works as well for cyclocross, but I think that there is so much to play with that they can try different things. And I think they're doing that again this year. So I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us. For
Well, I looked at the
nationals.
course map, the whatever released, and I think the power line or the that
Much
climb
less
is
of it. Yeah. Right.
okay. Yeah, it seemed like it was not either
Yeah.
out or not there.
Yeah,
So
I think you're right. So that big climb is in there, which is, I think, good. I think
I don't
that's a good thing.
think they. I mean, it's hard to tell from the course map, but I don't. I feel like they still haven't taken your advice on that one hill.
Yeah.
Like they're not right. They're just going up and down.
Yeah.
Go around it
Hopefully,
a few times.
yeah, go around it. Hopefully they do that. I think they're going underneath though. Like nobody, not even the mountain biking uses the tunnel, so that'll be cool. So I think they're
All
using
right.
that.
Cool photos.
Yeah. All right. Is that it? Let's see. Oh, wait, no. I think we already talked about this, but thank you, Chris Bennett. How many emotions did you go through when the government shut down Hit Band Anthem? Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Well, we all made it through. I think that's it. I think that's all the questions we got. I think we did it. Once again, Bodie.
Huh?
Nothing to say yet. We said all of it.
Yeah. Nothing to say. We said all of it. It's hour 18.
Oh, playlist.
Yeah. I've got a song.
Let's do it.
You know, it's kind of funny that we've gotten this far into sort of the pre-race playlist, and I kind of think it was hype stuff. And not once has anybody mentioned, I think I've got to scroll down to my list, Andrew WK.
Oh, my.
You might know him from
his TED Talk.
Yeah, that. The album I Get Wet. But
yeah.
I think this is the song title is pretty good. Don't Stop Living in the Red. I mean, that's cyclocross right there. I mean, like, put this on. Andrew WK reminds me of like.
Is that off of I Get Wet?
Yeah.
Is that the one where he's got the bloody nose and the?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a few like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just.
That's
like 1080. You guys, I don't even remember the snowboard game 1080, but one time someone had the soundtrack to that and like played it for me, and they're like, "Dude, these guitar riffs, it's just like video game, like rock music." And you know, I think it's a good hype song. You could also go with "She Is Beautiful," but we'll do "Don't Stop Living in the Red" as my pick.
I like it. Okay. So I had two. But I can just do one. If that
well, no, I have
better.
another one. I just realized I have another one, but it's kind of a So go, give me one.
Okay, we'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay, my first one. This is from what year is this? It's got to be like early 90s. Maybe 91. School of Fish, 3 Strange Days.
School of Fish is the band?
Yep.
Is it spelled fish days. Like a normal fish or like the jam band fish?
No. FISH. 3 Strange Days is the song. It is 1991. Good, upbeat, more like pop, just, guitar pop.
Wow, this sounds like a Beatles song at first. Got some backwards stuff going on here.
Yeah. Oh, you listen?
Yeah.
Yep. It starts grooving.
I was like, is the beat going to kick in?
Yeah. My playlist is more of the front end of the warm up.
Those are some 90s drums. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. All right,
I'm all about the groove.
All right. So what do I have? Wait, hang on. Why am I?
My second one will pick it up. My second one's gonna be the more like just getting into the mood.
All right. So here we go.
Yeah.
I'm picking this song. This is a really good song. That's the hard part. I was like, there's a lot of good songs. They're not necessarily like pre-race jams, but I was just perusing around music, and I was like, "Dancing on My Own" by Robin. Great beat.
All right.
Not like a hype beat, but it's a really good. I love it. And I was thinking, I was listening to the song. I was like, just imagine that the person she's singing to, the person she's talking about, is cyclocross. Just listen to this song.
Whoa. We're getting
and imagine she's talking about your new girlfriend, and it's cyclocross, and it works. It's a fun exercise. You'll have a good time.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to Bodie territory for
Okay.
this one.
It's a big territory.
1992. Where were you?
I was in Thailand.
Oh wow. Okay. This is not from there. This is Screaming Trees.
Never listened to Screaming Trees.
Oh, Nearly Lost You. Screaming Trees.
Okay.
It was also in the singles soundtrack, possibly.
Is there Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Mark Lanigan. Oh man. Yeah. Just so good. But Nearly Lost You, just amazing song and good. This one is not. This one will get you hyped. This is the good. This is getting near the end. This is when you're about to roll up to the grid. Get a little Nearly Lost You on there. Yeah, which again could be about cyclocross, Bodie.
Okay.
Yeah? All right.
I think I probably heard this before.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. It was a grunge staple.
All right.
Grunge, a lot of it, just pop.
Yeah.
Just pop with a distortion pedal.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
It's like I think Kurt Cobain's favorite band was like the Beatles.
I thought it was the it's some other band from Seattle. I forgot the name of that band. Damn, I can't think of it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if I had said it on the podcast. Do you know I have a Nirvana song on the playlist?
Yeah.
Have I not said this one yet?
I don't know. Did we already talk about it? I haven't. I'll have to check the official playlist once it's updated.
All right. Well, I'll just say it now since we talked about Screaming Trees, grunge, Territorial Pissings by Nirvana.
Yeah.
That'll get you going.
All right. Which album is that on? I feel like
Nevermind.
Oh, that is Nevermind? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I know it's not Bleach. It's whatever.
And on that note,
yeah, I think
we'll be back
we're done
at some point. It's good to catch back up.
Yeah,
back into phase 2.
Phase 2, getting excited, feeling ready to go to DCTX, Pan Am's, see all my CX friends.
Yeah.
And Pan Am's, it's cool, man. You're going to Jersey. That's awesome. Happy to be there. It's just reminds me, you can actually go on the Wide Angle Podium YouTube channel, and there's quite a lot of Pan Am's coverage from years gone past. One of the ones that I did was Pan Am's in Garland, Texas in 2021. And it's amazing how much younger Bruner looks back then. So go watch it. It's fun. A little throwback.
Yeah, there's even the Midland, Ontario, where you and I our first ever attempt at this thing that we're doing now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can go watch that one too.
Yeah.
You had drone. You actually were doing drone too while we were
shooting. Drone in there somewhere. Yeah, at some point, somehow.
Amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, sweet. We'll talk to y'all soon.